Hello everyone. Are you a dental student or a dental practitioner? Or are you one of those who want to place an implant the moment you see an edentulous space? Then this video is for you. In today's video, I'll be discussing what are the situations where we should avoid placing implants. Yes, placement of implant in every edentulous space is what we want to do, but there are certain medical conditions where we should avoid placing implants. Now, when it comes to the contraindications of placing implants, broadly, these contraindications can be divided into two: absolute contraindications and relative contraindications. Now, let's understand what is an absolute contraindication. Absolute contraindication means in these kind of medical condition, there is no way that you should place implant for a patient. Okay, no need to rush. Let's wait and let wait for the patient to heal and come up with a medical condition. Then only we should go for placing implants. What is a relative contraindication? Relative contraindication means that we have to assess the risk and the benefit of placing an implant. If we feel that the benefit of placing implants is better, is higher than the risk we are taking in placing implants, then we should definitely go ahead with implant placement. But if we feel that the risk is high and the benefit that we are getting after the procedure is less, then we should stop and rethink to place implants. Now, these relative contraindications I'll be discussing in my next video. In today's video, let's discuss the absolute contraindication. The first absolute contraindication is a recent MI or a recent valvular prosthesis. Now, this thing doesn't mean that any patient with a myocardial infarction or a valvular process should be devoid of placing implants. No, we can place implants in such patients, but only at a later stage. Any patient who is having a recent myocardial infarction or a valvular prosthesis has been placed for that patient, we shouldn't go ahead with implant placement. Reason being that the patient is on blood thinners, and those blood thinners are very important for that patient at this particular stage. So while placing an implant, while doing the procedure, there can be a lot of blood loss, uncontrolled blood loss. Also, post-procedure healing will be affected. Only once this myocardial infarction treatment is over, the patient's resting phase is over, valvular processes has also been done for a certain period of time, then we should take a written permission from the patient's cardiologist and ask for stopping the blood thinners few days before and after the procedure. Only after that written consent from the cardiologist, we should go ahead with implant placement. Next condition in absolute contraindications is uncontrolled and treatment resistant diabetes. Now, what do we understand by this? See, we have a diabetic patient in every house these days. So just having diabetes doesn't mean that it's a contraindication for placing implants. But those cases which are having uncontrolled diabetes, which are having treatment resistant diabetes, we should think twice before placing implants. Reason? In such situations, the blood sugar levels are really high. Because of these high blood sugar levels, the bone formation is affected. Also, the medication which are given to such patients, those medications themselves are responsible for bone loss. Because of high blood sugar levels, multiple organs in our body are also affected. The first one of them is kidney. Once kidney functions are affected, the cycle of vitamin D and calcium regulation in our body is also disturbed. Vitamin D and calcium both are very crucial for maintaining the skeletal system, for maintaining our bone remodeling system. So once it is disturbed, our bone formation, our bone remodeling system is disturbed. And even if we place implants in such patients, it won't be successful. It is going for a failure itself. So a patient with uncontrolled and treatment resistant diabetes will have more bone loss and less bone formation. So we should completely avoid placing implants in such patients. Another absolute contraindication is severe renal disease. So let's first understand what is the function of kidneys in our body. Kidneys in our body function as a filter. So what these kidneys will do, they will remove waste and toxins from our body, and they'll preserve glucose, hormones, and vitamins. Also, these kidneys are a kind of factory where they produce a lot of hormones and vitamin D. Because of any severe renal disease, if these normal function of kidneys are affected, then what happens? Because of this, there is less vitamin D in our body, because of which there is weakening of bones. Because without vitamin D, a proper strong bone formation cannot happen. If there is a severe renal disease, then it is definitely going to affect the vitamin D levels in the body, which will ultimately affect our skeletal system. It will ultimately affect our bones. And when the bones are weak, it is not advised to place implants. The next thing is advanced and untreated osteoporosis. Now, in the first figure, we can see a normal bone and an osteoporotic bone. So, what is the difference in between a normal bone and an osteoporotic bone? The osteoporotic bone is quite less dense as compared to a normal bone. So what happens, bone is one thing which continuously undergoes remodeling cycle. Continuously osteoclast will be eating up bone and osteoblast will be depositing bone or forming bone in our body. In osteoporotic patients, what happens? Bone formation is not happening. Bone resorption is happening continuously, but bone formation is not happening. So our bones become very weak and brittle. In such case, implant placement should be completely avoided. The next in this series is treatment-resistant osteomalacia. See, osteomalacia is a medical condition which is little similar to osteoporosis. The difference is, if you see this figure, again, a normal bone and an osteomalacic bone, we can see there is a little bit of difference in these. In osteoporosis, the bones become weak and brittle. But in case of osteomalacia, our bones are weak, but they are less brittle and they are more soft. They can bend. Okay, they're little bendable, they're little soft because the this matrix, the matrix in the bones is less, it is reduced. The fibers are reduced, the matrix is reduced, so the bones become little soft. In such kind of bones, if we will place implants, then the normal healing process which happens after implant placement, which is called as osseointegration, will be affected. If osseointegration is not happening, then our implants will not be successful. Next is chronic and severe alcohol abuse. Again, I like to say that any patient who is used to alcohol should be avoided of implants is not the case. But if a patient is is the one who is a chronic user of alcohol and there is severe alcohol abuse, then yes, implant placement should be avoided. Because what happens over a period of time, because of severe alcohol use, ultimately the bones get affected and the patient, the bones become osteoporotic. In these osteoporotic bones, placement of implant is really not a good idea. The next point is severe and uncontrolled endocrine diseases. We have, as you all know, a lot of endocrine glands in our body. We have thyroid and parathyroid glands. We have adrenal glands, pituitary, pancreas. So what all these endocrine glands do in our body? They produce hormones and they release hormones. These hormones are very much important for bone formation, for bone dissolution, for the complete bone remodeling cycle. Now, once any of these endocrine glands is affected, if the patient is suffering from any uncontrolled endocrine diseases, then definitely there is a hormonal disturbance in the body. This hormonal disturbance will definitely gonna affect the bone growth and remodeling process. And if the bone growth and remodeling process is affected, then we cannot place implants, because the same point, coming back to the same point again, osseointegration will be affected. Another thing is autoimmune deficiency syndrome or AIDS. Any patient with AIDS will have severe bone loss, the bones will be weak, and healing will be definitely affected. Anti-HIV medication itself causes weakening of bones, so we cannot expect a good healing to happen in any patient which is affected with HIV. So any patient which is having HIV who is under anti-HIV medication, placement of implants should be completely avoided. If a patient is an onco patient, a cancer patient, and the patient is undergoing chemotherapy, then implant placement should also be absolutely avoided. Reason being, The chemicals that flow through the body during chemotherapy also lead to osteoporosis. So we are coming to the same point again and again. Any kind of medical condition which is ultimately affecting patient's bone, and they are affecting bone growth, they are affecting bone remodeling, they are causing osteoporosis. Any such condition should be avoided for placing implants. Next is radiotherapy. See what happens when radiotherapy takes place, it causes damage of bone loss. Also, because of radiotherapy, the blood supply to bone is reduced. Once the blood supply to bone is reduced, the bone remodeling process is affected. In some patients, it can also lead to avascular necrosis. So, radiotherapy is an absolute contraindication for implant placement. Here, I will like to highlight one 5-star point. If any patient is undergoing radiotherapy and in head and neck region, and the doses which the patient has taken is above 50 grays, then definitely going ahead with implant placement is not suggested, because healing will never happen in such cases. It won't be good for either us or the patient. So these were the few factors which were like absolute contraindication for placing implants. Thank you for your patient listening. In my next video, I'll be covering about the relative contraindication. If you have not subscribed to my channel till now, then please subscribe and do press that bell icon. You will get the notifications whenever I put a new video. Thank you once again. Bye-bye.